They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. It was Taven Bryan who got him down defensively.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
A second down throw for Prescott. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
They just get the play off. Now Prescott firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Second and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He gets this one complete to Tre'Quan Smith. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's fourth down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 16. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Vikings will take over here first and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Second and 6, just inside the 30.
No, check, Patriot!
They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. And what a way to take over as they've got it with a first and goal. A first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. They've got a first and goal from the 10-yard line.
Here we go. 180. Go, go, go. Get out there. Get out there. 180.
Prescott now after the fumble recovery. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on second and goal. Prescott now. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
Detroit! Detroit! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Back 99 Philly, here we go! Leopard! Leopard!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a nice spin into some open field. They finally do get him down, but we've got penalty flags on the field as well, and they might get 15 more out of this. And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Cook following the penalty. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I was
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10.
Here we go, 46. 26.
Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. And this is going to be incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Here we go, 47. I got you, 88. Gun. Here we go, 48. Here we go, get that. Let's go, get out. You got motion there. You got motion there right there. 26.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Matt Ioannidis. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Returnable here from the 38. Yards on the return that time. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. 1st down, here's the run with Cook. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Now, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
He'll look to throw. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Well, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things.
3-19! Leopard! Leopard! Watch him now, Barney! Barney! No. Check! Patriot! Patriot! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56!
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
No. Check! Patriot! Patriot! All right, now, lucky 56! Lucky 56!
He'll look to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one goes for 24 yards. Two minutes remain in a scoreless first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. That's Samuel caught left side. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Handoff comes to Cook, and they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. That's complete right around the 8. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. They pitch it out to Cook, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block him. But short of that, you know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
Now let's go. you now, Barney.
They're going to look to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left half, should be a fairly easy one here. Carlson able to put this one through. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. Oh, a nice spin. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And he goes across the 20 to the 22. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! 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 Detroit!
They'll look to throw. Lets it fly for Thielen. He's got a man complete. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 36 yards. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Detroit! Detroit!
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. He's going to wind up and air it out. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. On 2nd down, Cook. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun, 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 gun.
They'll set up a throw. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
3 down. Here we go. Wide in.
Tighten up.
Hey, 47.
On second down, Elliott looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made there by the UCF man, Mike Hughes. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was played. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these...
And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Brought down, but after we saw a flashy little move, stopped short of the 40. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
A toss to Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he's got his target. That's more. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps.